Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 9. We're finally doing an episode 9. It's been quite some time since we've done one of these. So let's get it back up and running. It's quarantine time. We've got more time to do this. So hopefully we shall see some more. But we're on episode 9, guys. What do you think to that?
Wow.
9-9.
Yeah.
9-9.
9-9. No, that's for when we hit the 99th episode, in like 5 years' time. Yes, now
You'll die of the road.
I mean, if we keep taking big ass breaks like this sort of situations put us in, then it might take a lot longer.
Oh, it'll take a lot longer than that, yeah. A lot of it is to do with me, so anybody who does watch these regularly, I do apologise that it's been quite a long time since we've done one. I've recently changed jobs, as I've said, in loads of different videos, and then my job remit has been massively kind of impacted by the current situation. I'm a planner, meaning that I need to ensure we've got the right people in the right place at the right time. You can't do that if people are at home, so it's been craziness on my end. So I do apologise. It's completely my fault, but I'm not going to bore anybody with those details. We're going to get on and actually talk about the podcast. It's the 22nd, sorry, of the 4th, guys. Just to freak Leechy out, we started this 5 months ago.
Jesus.
Always gets to him.
Every single time. December last year we
He's
started
shocked
this.
by the concept of time every time.
And can you believe the next episode is going to be episode 10? We're going to be in the double figures.
Yeah, boy.
I'm excited. But let's start off with a very traditional, I'm going to call it a traditional format. We're going to start off with the what have you been playing? I want to start off with you, Roost. What have you been playing in the last 2 months?
Well, a bit more interesting than the last couple of times, where the answer was basically just more siege, mate. There's been some old, there's been some new. So with the old games, I've sort of gone back to. I've been playing some Escape from Tarkov again, getting back into that a bit. Went off it for a long while after playing it when it first sort of, well, I don't want to say released because it's not released, but you know what I mean. Actually playing some Skyrim again recently. Just sort of been feeling that sort of.
Did you buy it again recently?
Every year, mate. Naturally. But yeah, I just been fancying a bit of casual sort of action RPG goodness, and Skyrim was sort of the one I went to. Been playing quite a bit of that. Dabbling in some Rocket League, but more importantly, Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord gives me big boner, like
Big boner.
big time. That game now heavily early access to anyone who doesn't know, very unfinished. So as much as I'm loving it, not necessarily a game I'd recommend to those who haven't been avidly following its development. But basically, to those who don't know what it is, essentially massive sandbox kingdom-based RPG essentially. So you've got a travel system reminiscent of Total War games, where you've got this overarching map and you move around that way. But then you go down if you either enter battles or enter cities, things like that. You go into first/third person, whichever you choose. And you can actually explore around the 3D world.
Is it quite similar to Kingdom Come Deliverance in its travelling system?
More like Total War, because you actually see your forces and big forces, and you actually move around like that. But yeah, they're like, anyone who knows Warband, the previous game, very sort of vast game. Like what you can do, it really puts the role play in a role playing game. There's so much for you to delve into and sort of take into account. And so this game people have been waiting for essentially like 8 to 10 years. From Warband, the development has been followed for the past 5 years. It's quite a small team working on it, but yeah, for those of us who've been sort of following the development and waiting for it, what little we have now is just glorious, riddled with bugs, but glorious. But definitely, if you've never heard of the Mountain Blade series, I wouldn't jump in straight away. I'd leave some time, but it's definitely worth looking into to see if it's the kind of game you can get behind. I've been having a lot of time with the tournament system. If you go to main cities, their arena might have a tournament on, and it can get quite difficult sometimes, depending on who you go up against. But yeah, that's been a lot of fun traveling around the world and just taking part in proper like melee tournaments and stuff. And I've also been playing a bit of Dead Cells, so I've never really been that into indie games, I suppose. The traditional what you think of when you think of an indie title, such as Dead Cells. That never sort of took my fancy, but recently they've been sort of interesting me and intriguing me. So I've been dabbling in some, but Dead Cells is one I played recently, and I have to say that game is fun. Like it's very fast paced, but it's just really, really well made. For an indie title. So very fair play to the developers of that. But for the most part, that's pretty much been my last couple of weeks. Is Bannerlord, little bit of Siege, Escape from Tarkov, Skyrim, and Dead Cells.
Quite varied then. Especially like we've of course spoken almost every day since lockdown, and I think Leechy's and mine are going to be quite similar in terms of some of the games we've played. But it's good to see kind of taking up some other kind of games like Bannerlord. A part of me kind of wants to try it, but maybe not right at this second. I'm not too sure.
I'd say maybe give it a couple of months. I mean, the development of it and the updates. So when I got it on release, I got it day one. Well, that's a lie. I got it day two, technically. I got it the day after it came out. But for the first week, I'd played the game for 7 days, and there'd been an update 7 times. They'd push an update to
Jesus.
the game every day for at least a week after playing. Now, and it's been very consistent. I don't know if they've necessarily had one every single day after that week, that first week, but they've definitely been like every couple of days. They're just it's not like it's not like Daisy, I suppose, is a good example where it was like, here's what you get. We'll see you in 6 months when we have a bit of an update and we'll fix the major issues and add some more content. It's like the development is almost just we're getting what they're developing continuously as they're developing it. If there's something new, all these bug fixes and everything like that, they've really sort of been on the ball with keeping this development cycle going and being put out to the player base as they're doing it, which is very good.
Oh, that's not too bad. I think it's good from a player perspective to see this kind of thing kind of being updated consistently and actually being worked on. It's nice to see a development cycle coming to fruition and not like, as you mentioned, DayZ, where it was just complete silence for 6 months and then they updated 2 guns into the game. Like, oh, thanks for this. Great.
Well,
Or
remove like 3 others.
or remove fix the zombies by just removing them completely.
Yeah, a zombie game without zombie. Great. you found the odd one in the town. Like, okay.
Can you imagine like Resident Evil without the zombies?
Yeah. Spo-
God, no,
Spoiler
that'd be
alert for those
awful.
out there. DayZ is actually now a really good game. If you have the game and haven't played it over the past like 2 years,
It's worth
go
giving a
and
bash.
play it. Go and play DayZ. Ignore the stigma you've given it because of its early development, because it is now a very good game.
You know, I've been thinking about downloading it again and trying it, but I feel like I'd be too busy slamming my keyboard at all my Escape from Tarkov buttons, going, why can't I chamber? Why can't I see what's in the chamber of my weapon? So I'd be a bit worried of that. But anyway, so Linkchi, what have you been playing over the last couple of months?
So for the most part, I've actually like if Rooster's been on Tarkov, then I've been there too. Same yeah, okay. Same kind of situation. Spent months not playing it. Thought it was complete garbage. I always had it installed. It was one of those games that it was just always in the background, just kind of chilling. Always had a special place on my hard drive, just didn't get played. But yeah, I was very much one of those like, hardcore, it's crap. You spawn in and some guy puts a round in your head before you've even properly got your gun in your hands, which still fucking happens, but less frustrating now. I think one of my primary things actually for not playing that game was how often they used to wipe. It was literally a monthly occurrence, I think. But yeah, the fact they've stopped with the regular wiping and only wipe now when it's really necessary, it's definitely worth getting back into.
I remember
Just
those cry-worthy days of, "Wait, I've just started building." Oh, they wiped. Wait, I've
yeah,
just started building.
yeah.
Oh, they wiped.
It's like, hey, look, my stash is looking pretty good today, and then you come on the following day, and oh no, there's an update, and it's gone.
Definitely prefer the less frequent wiping.
Yeah, one thing I did manage to get over seriously though was the gear fear that I always had. Like I'd steal
The
a
old
decently
Tarkov
decked gun from
crutch.
someone, and I'd be like, "Yo, that gun is sick! Like I really want to use this, but if I use it, I'm gonna lose it, so I better not use it at all." And then the game would wipe anyway before I ever actually used the weapon. Um, so now I'm just kind of like, if I lose it, I do one scav run and I've got a new gun. It's literally not an issue. I actually recently spent like 300k in game, just decking out a gun that I'll probably lose in the first raid I take it in, but whatever, who cares? Game's pretty fun. I think we'll probably touch on Tarkov a little bit more in a bit though, because obviously I know you've been playing it with us, obviously with Vacuo.
Oh yes.
Basically, the reason I got back into it, I won't lie.
Well, no.
When-
Well, by chain of command, yes. I got you back into Tarkov, but only because Revac got me back into Tarkov.
I'll explain my little story of starting Tarkov because I only bought the game in March, but we'll get onto that.
Don't forget the
Yeah.
constant nagging to me that came along with that. Please don't, skip past that because I dealt with that for like 2 weeks.
Oh, to be
Well,
fair, it's because of you guys I bought the game in the first place, which kind of came full
Yeah.
circle.
Welcome full circle.
Yeah, we can get on to that. Another a bit of a twist for me actually. So I'm not a Nintendo fan. I loved the SNES back in the day, but that was about as far as it went. I've never really been one for the kind of like light-hearted, family-friendly kind of games that Nintendo's known for. But a couple of weeks ago, I realized that just everything I was playing was just stressing me the hell out. I think it was primarily a combination of everything that's been going on. But I've basically given up on Siege again for the moment because I can't play it. I play that game and I just get angry the second I load in because it's just stressing me out. So on a bit of a whim, really, I went into work and my boss turned around and said that, like, oh, we've got a couple of Switches in stock if you want to snatch one up before they go on sale for everyone else. And I jumped on it. I was like, yeah, you know what? Go on then. I'll take a chance. So after spending probably more on a console that I didn't realize I would really play all that much, like more than I should have paid for it, but whatever, I did it. And I basically haven't put it down. I've played it every day without fail. Animal Crossing is one of the most chilled games I think I've ever played, and like to look at it. If I didn't own the Switch and I saw an advert for the game or somebody was speaking to me about it, I'd probably just brush it off and be like, yeah, it just looks like Stardew Valley. I'm not really fussed. If you like it, fine, but it's not for me. But oh my god, it is for me. It is just so much light-hearted fun, and you can sink literally just hours and hours and hours. And what have you done? Dug up some trees and planted a few flowers.
I was going to say,
But
what
you
have you
just
done? Absolutely sweet fuck all, but that's
Yeah.
the point.
Yeah, and it's just like it's so good just to be able to chill out, and it is a bit different to my norm. Like most of my primary games involve shooting people in the face. I play a bit of Mortal Kombat every now and then, so punching people in the face. But
And now you've just got light ADHD because any insect it's just distracting you from what you wanted to do in the first place. Like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go over here and just do a bit of like, look, there's a paper kite butterfly. I must have it.
But yeah, since getting the Switch, so it came with Animal Crossing. Within about a week, I had like 4 other games for it, because I just spent like a nutter. Besides Animal Crossing, though, my favorite game, I think, has to be Super Smash. Like,
Such a good game.
I think I
love
played 100 battles in my first night of playing that game. Like, I played so much Smash in the space of just a couple of days.
that one. To be fair, we kind of knew you'd like though, because when you used to come over mine,
Yeah, I had
we
dabbled
used
in
to
it
play some
before.
Smash before, and we did kind of enjoy just playing some Smash.
What I can say,
Yes, that's a euphemism.
Nintendo Switch
hey.
Pro controller, basically the
Best.
best controller on the market.
I did say, didn't I? It's so good.
No argument. Like, it is. Don't even at me. Like, it's just the best.
Don't at me, bro. Switch Pro controller is best controller.
Like, PS5 controller, no. Switch Pro controller's where it's at.
We're going to get on to that because I've got some very... but we'll get to that.
But yeah, man, like, just the Switch. My brother was selling one not so long ago. I say that, it was almost a year ago at this point, I think. But at the time, I just really wasn't interested. But yeah, I was stressed out. Thought, you know what? Sod it. You know, it's the kind of games that they're designed to chill you out. You know, you're not supposed to sweat when you're playing Smash or Mario Kart. You know, you can, obviously. Like,
I don't know. Have you been chased by bees?
Definitely people. Oh, mate. Yeah,
or
that's
a tarantula.
Kind of sweating, though. Like that.
I don't think I've ever been afraid of anything more in my life than watching a tarantula go on its hind legs and chase you.
Then, you know, you've got your axe out, so you're not even ready. If you had your net out, maybe you could protect yourself. But you've got your axe out, and you're just chopping away. You know, you're gathering some wood to make a signpost or something. You know, maybe build yourself a bench, and all of a sudden, the game does that pause, and then the nest drops, and you know it's coming. And you just you just got to leg it to the nearest building. Unfortunately for me, it happened to me last night. Unfortunately for me, I was up on one of my top tiers of my island. I would have needed to have stopped, equipped my ladder, climbed down, and then tried to leg it. It wasn't happening. I ended up, like, my character is still all stung up because I just haven't bothered to
Did you start running, realise it wasn't going to work, and just stood still and just, like, accepted your fate?
I had to give up. I tried to outrun them. I wondered, like, maybe if you outrun them for long enough, do they stop? Possibly, but I didn't find out. They caught up to me. It was not a good day. So yeah, the Switch, if you are stressing and you just want something to chill out with, yeah, they're expensive. Good luck finding one in stock right now. But if you can, snatch it up, because it is seriously one of the best purchases I think I've made.
In these troubling times, it's definitely a good purchase.
Oh yeah, it's worth every damn penny.
And yeah, I've sunk like probably over 50 hours into Animal Crossing already, and I haven't had it that long. It's just been non-stop. Like, if I'm on PC, I'm playing Tarkov. If I'm not playing Tarkov, it's just Switch. I'm just playing Switch. Other than that, I don't think there's much else. I think I mentioned in the previous episode that I've been playing GTA 4 again. I still haven't finished that. I'm literally just dabbling every now and then. Yeah, other than Tarkov and a whole load of Switch games, there's not much going on. So I think that's me.
That's fair. So you guys have kind of already talked about a lot of what I've played anyway. So I've been playing a lot of Escape from Tarkov as well. Really, I knew of the game, didn't really play it. No, I didn't have it. Didn't really kind of want it to start with. Then I started to watch a couple of videos about it. You guys were talking about it quite a bit when you were playing it. I think it was a couple of months ago now, and I thought to myself, do you know what? I want to get into a new game, so let's try Tarkov. Thinking, you know, it'll be a nice game, you know, a bit fun, a little bit realistic, closer to kind of like an Armour sort of piece. My God, was I wrong? I've never been more terrified about anything in my life.
Tarkov is a horror game.
It is a horror game.
Yes.
Listen, just sitting there, happily looting away, and then suddenly you hear some scav scream something in Russian, and and then just this bullet just flies straight past your face. You're still in the menus and absolutely just shitting yourself. You're like, oh my god, you're trying to shoot and run at the same time, which does not work.
Yeah.
And it is just painful.
Can we just talk about the moment we realized I think there was 4 of us in raid at the time, in which so everyone part of our friend group who was playing has gone USEC, except for one who we did not realize had chosen me, and almost got lit up by 3 of us because he was just learning to play, and we're all there moving on, and he hit Y by accident.
Yeah, we've just
Which,
been
if
in
you
a
don't know,
firefight.
It's the mumble key, which means that you'll make an in-game like call out of some kind. Now, if any of us were to do it, they're USEC. They will speak English. They'll say something like "moving forward" or "group up."
Oh, I'm hurt.
Oh, I'm hurt. So things like that. Of course, we're all moving, and all we hear from right behind us, and I mean like 2 meters away, is "I knew what you were." Oh my god, the 3 of us just 180'd. Like, these enemies, contact! As he screams and goes, it was me!
I just pressed the Y key. I didn't know what he did. He's got 3 barrels, like 3 ADAR and M4 barrels in his face.
At that moment, did we go, who did you choose when you made your character? The bears! Oh, fuck.
For God's sake.
Can't believe you've done this.
Your impression of a Russian scav in that game was so on point. I had Vietnamese style flashbacks just then of hearing that, and then a grenade coming from just the middle of a bush or something. Okay. But that game is great fun with people, and when you're not playing with anybody, it is absolutely terrifying.
Communication is so important.
Oh, it is. It really is.
So just not in
so important
in which you scream in Russian.
But no, one of our first raids that we got into, I pushed up quite far to try and get a flank on this guy who I knew was running, but at that point I never actually mentioned that I was moving up as quickly as I was. All I heard was, I see one, and then just this silenced shot from a Mosin, and just dropped. I just sank to the floor, 1 shot in the head, and I went, fuck's sake, somebody just got me with a silenced Mosin, and then all I hear is Rooster go, oh, that might have been me.
See,
sorry.
I was so unaware of your position that even when you said that you had been killed, I still didn't believe that I had killed you.
Yeah.
I believed you'd got killed by the person who I had just killed, until you then clarified and went, I think it was a silenced weapon. And that's when I went, okay.
So the one thing...
I think I know who I just killed.
Yeah. The one thing to note, if you've never played Tarkov, is when you raid with people, there's no names above people's heads. You are just that kind of character. So if you don't know who each other are, you're always at risk. I love that element. I really do. I think it's
a good element.
It gives
but you've definitely got to pay attention. I did not.
Yeah. You have to. I've team killed somebody. He never shuts up about it.
I think that Tarkov is, in a way, is a state of mind. Like for a lot of your casual players, fact that there's no team names or friendly players highlighted or anything like that, and if you don't know where your friends are, then you're fucked.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A lot of people find that annoying, and I was one of them. It was I knew what I was getting into when I bought Tarkov. I wasn't oblivious to how the game would be. But then when actually playing it, and your mates accidentally just put around in you, it's frustrating as all hell. Until you sort of achieve that state of mind of that is a very real risk of the game, and you need to be ready for it.
Yeah.
It can happen. We were playing with Relapse the other day, and I heard someone running to my left. I'm trying to we're mid firefight or whatever. I'm trying to clarify, where are you, Relapse? And like he can't quite get the words out, and I put a round straight in his chest, and it was him. And he's like, "Ah, I've just been hit." I'm like, "Oh shit, sorry."
Yeah, Stokesy did that to me.
Luckily, I didn't kill him, and he was able to heal, and it was fine. But yeah, you know, it is especially mid firefight. It's one of
Yeah.
the most like combat is so intense in that game.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
feeling unlike any other.
It's because
Especially if you're last man standing, if your squad's
Oh,
been
yeah.
wiped and you're the last dude cowering in a fucking bush, and all you can hear is explosions and fucking gunshots. Like, you better fucking be ready for that heart pounding because it's coming. Like-
Unclipping your Saliwa kit to bandage yourself up, going, "Oh, I could hear them."
There's nothing worse than being in dire need of meds. So you're there bandaging up because you're gonna die anyway. It's take the fight and die because you bled out, or just
Yeah.
try and cower. And you can hear them searching for you. They smell your blood, and you're like, "Please, I just need a bandage."
And the idiot that you are decided to put headphones on so you can hear stuff from further away and a lot clearer. And all you can hear is every damn footstep getting closer to you as you're there with your IVAC going, "I'm trying to stab myself with morphine. Just wait." But it is absolutely terrifying. And as we said, communication is key. And usually, if you have been TK'd, you're the person that's at fault. You've either not explained your position very well at all, you've run up on your squad mid firefight, or
looking
you've
like an enemy.
yeah, exactly.
You know what? I can heavily get behind this. If you wish to take full blame for my Mosing kill on you, Revac, you go ahead. I'll support your decision. 100%.
Of course you will. No, at the end of the day, I didn't make my intention known. I said I was moving forward. I didn't say how far or where I was. And then I think from that moment, that's when my communication in that game drastically improved.
Yeah, I have only killed you once.
Yeah.
So
I've only been team killed once. Stokesy tried his best to kill me, but his bullet pinged straight off of my armor. Thank God. So we were on a map called Customs.
That's because he keeps taking garbage ammo in.
That
if
as
he
well,
takes
yeah.
any ammo at all.
But I was up on this kind of like I'd moved forward again because there's this area where a bunch of AI spawn. So I kind of moved up and I turned around, and as I was coming back to the squad, I was only gone for a couple of seconds. All I heard from Stokesy was, "Oh, I see one," and then ping! It just bounced off my chest. I'm like, "No, that's me! That's me! Don't shoot me!"
What are you doing?
Oh, so good, chicken breaking, no.
Precisely.
But yeah, no, that game is great fun. It's really interesting to see just how intricate it can be, especially with the gun modding, the bullet system, the armor system. It takes a long time to get used to that kind of stuff. So, as you said earlier, Leechy,
Got a learning curve.
yeah, massive learning curve. If you're a casual player, you probably will not enjoy Escape from Tarkov because of how intricate it actually is. But once you start to get a grasp and an understanding of the game's mechanics and, you know, what you did wrong, like going in with low tier ammo, you're not going to penetrate any armor and kill anybody. You're most probably going to get one tapped because you've not got the right armor on. It's all that kind of stuff is so important to understand, and it takes a long time to do it. I thankfully got quite a lot of experience within the first month because I bought the game on, it was like March the 6th or something. And by the end of March, I must have sunk 150 to 200 hours into the game.
Jesus.
Yeah, I put a lot of hours into that game. And I've enjoyed every second of it. And recently I've restarted my account because you can refresh it every 3 weeks. Just to kind of...
Oh, there's a time limit on that?
Yeah, so you can only do it once every 3 weeks.
Oh.
But with the patch imminent, probably June, I just wanted to do it. And I can then put some videos up on the YouTube channel. The one that I did yesterday, yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
But I've changed my software for recording, not the podcast, because the podcasts aren't really that intensive. But in terms of the Star Citizen video that I did earlier, that's on the new software, well, that's the NVIDIA software, which is a lot better. So hopefully my Tarkov videos will improve from there. But yeah, so Tarkov, that's something that we've all been playing kind of together. I think I've played it the most over the last 2 months, and I've got, you know, a good understanding of the customs map and some of the mechanics and stuff. I still can't shoot. I don't know what it is with me in games. I'll either have a day where I'm like in an old western, just mowing everybody down and having a great time, or I'm just so stupid that I'm trying to take my shoe off and throw it at somebody. There is no in between.
Shall we tell them the story of Rivak? Do you want to kill him?
Yeah, 1 round, 2 round, 3 round, 4 round, 5 round, 6 round. Are you
Yep.
gonna kill him then? Just kill him for me.
We were moving up on this like little complex, and now Rivak got a silenced weapon. So if we're trying to just sort of take out a scav so we can move up without drawing attention, we'll be like, oh, Rivak, take him out, and then we'll move in. And we're moving up. He's like, oh, I see one. Right, I'll get him. Well, yeah. Fa-ting!
Yeah.
Fa-ting, fa-ting. Fa-ting, fa-ting, fa-ting. As the scav starts screaming Russian and running around. All the while, I'm like tracking him with my weapon, just like, are you gonna kill him? Are you gonna kill him? And then 2 of them come out round by the side of me as he just goes, oh, just kill them. I put them both down in 3 shots, but I'm just sat there like, kill them quickly before they come and attack. Please kill them now.
Yeah, that was a big oops. This scav I was trying to kill was behind a fence, and you can shoot through fences, but if you end up hitting part of the fence, your bullet will just ping off somewhere. And I must have put 5 of, I think, the 8 rounds that I shot into the fence. Maybe 1 into his arm. I was like, just kill him, please. So yeah, so that's how realistic Tarkov can be. It is great fun. It's a lot of fun with people, and I would suggest playing it if you want to try something that's very kind of hardcore and has quite a steep learning curve. But other than that, I've also been playing Animal Crossing, so I've had a Switch for quite a long time. I originally bought my Switch for The Legend of Zelda, which I still think is one of my favourite games. And then Animal Crossing was released. I didn't get it for a few days, but I was desperate. I've played every Animal Crossing up to this point, and do you know what? This Animal Crossing is absolutely fantastic. It's so good. They've done such a great job. I think the thing with Animal Crossing is it's so charming. It's so, as you said, Leechy, it's so relaxing, but they've managed to perfect that. So the score is just perfect for whatever you're doing. It's so calming and so relaxing whilst you're just kind of wandering around doing what it is you need to do. But as soon as something kicks off, a tarantula starting to chase you, the score just completely snaps and changes, and you're just sprinting for your life, and it's just so intense trying to find the museum so that you can just walk straight in instead of accidentally moving too far from a doorway and not being able to press the action button to actually get into the door. But it's got exactly the same elements. Nook the Crooks forever taking all of your money. All your villagers are super friendly. But it's got some really fantastic elements. Like crafting is so big in that game, and it's so fantastic because previously you just had to kind of find furniture, so you never had any furniture that matched in other games, and it wasn't all that great. And you just had this weird mix and match across your kind of your house, and you could only put items inside of your house. Now you get you can craft items so all of your furniture can essentially look exactly the same, and you can actually have a nice decorated home. But you can put furniture outside, and you can make the outside look like a genuine town and look beautiful. Some people, if you go onto YouTube and so on and have a look at what some people have created already, some of it's fantastic. I don't know how people are so creative. But with the likes of Animal Crossing, there's just this new game gives you the ability to do all of that, to shape your own world. There's levels, it's not all just flat, so you can build ramps, build bridges, you can get over like your rivers and stuff without having to have a bridge there, because originally bridges were already generated within the world. Now you're actually striving to make the town a lot better, all whilst sitting there on this really really calming music and really charming graphics and game. And like you said, Leech, looking at it from the outside, it doesn't look great. It looks quite boring and so on. But then you start playing it and you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to pick some flowers, I'm just going to shake some trees, I'm just going to have a bit of fun. Before you realise it, it's 6 hours later. And you go,
Yeah.
Where's my afternoon gone? Oh, okay, it was on Animal Crossing and I got 20,000 bells.
Actually, that actually happened to me earlier on. So around, I think 2:30, 3ish, something like that. I jumped on literally just to pop to the in-game shop so I could sell some stuff, and then I had to go out in real life to go to the shop. Only I then sat there for about 2 hours, just like harvesting materials and stuff. Before eventually, my mum came in and was like, "Are we going or what? Like, what's going on? What are you doing?" Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I said I'd be 5 minutes. Yeah, that was 2 hours ago. Oh, I'm gonna put this down.
Yeah, so it's very easily done on Animal Crossing.
No, of course. And then I think they're the two main games that I've been playing. So other things that I've been delving into. So Star Citizen, the Federations DLC was released. That gives a really nice new element to the game. It brings a galactic Senate in. So every 5 seconds that I've been a part of this Senate, I've been screaming, "I am the Senate!" And it's just great. It is great fun.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh, exactly. And then the whole Federation system has been completely overhauled, which is also so much fun. And they've given the game kind of elements to further expand your species, so you can have kind of like a starting story, if that makes sense. So essentially, there's one that's called Doomsday, and as a species, you've just learned how to travel faster than light and go and be able to use your hyperlane travel. But you've got about, I don't know, 20, I think it was 40 actually, in-game months to colonize a different planet because your home planet is going to blow up. And those kind of things, it gives it a really, really cool different element, which has been a lot of fun. I bought the original Final Fantasy VII on the Switch. So I've been playing a little bit of that because I never played a Final Fantasy game, and I know that Final Fantasy has been loved so much that the remake, of course, has come out. And I thought, from what I've heard, the remake is only a portion of the story from the original Final Fantasy VII. Of course, it's expanded a lot more, and there's a lot more to see and do, but it's not the full story. And I think if I ever want to play the remake, I want to finish the entire story first.
It's going to be in several installments. Apparently, it's probably roughly about 20% of the original, beginning of the game, but spread across like 50 hours.
Yeah, there's so much more to do. The location of Midgar, I think they've really expanded on it, which I've seen some gameplay footage and it looks stunning.
I think a lot of people have liked basically saying it's more of a remix than a remake or a remaster because of how much they've taken the general concept and the story and the characters, but they've really gone to town and taken some liberties with how much they wanted to add to the game.
Yeah, for the most part, I think it's had a lot of good things said about it. There's not been all that many people who have been upset with the remake from what I hear.
Yeah.
Which is, it's always good. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been playing over the last couple of months. So yeah, hopefully with all of you guys stuck at home, hopefully you guys have tried some new games or anything like that. If you have, then just let us know what you've been trying to play and what you've been enjoying recently. I know that Doom was released recently, so a lot of people have had a lot of good to say about Doom, but let's face it, Doom's Doom. It's always going to be good. You just shoot things and tear their heads off and have great fun doing it.
I wasn't a huge fan. I gave it a bash and just, I don't know. I guess I kind of expected it to be a little bit quicker, like a little bit faster paced. And it wasn't. Like I was expecting one thing and got something else. But then I'm not a huge Doom fan anyway. I just never really bothered with the series.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. But I can see
my brother
the appeal
absolutely loves it. Like my brother is a mad Doom fan. But
right, so let's move on to a little bit of gaming news then. So I think something that I really want to touch on very quickly and breeze past is the it's not necessarily the announcement, but GTA 6. There's been some rumours and stuff that it's being worked on by Rockstar. I mean, of course, it's being worked on.
Yeah, it's apparently entered into early development stages.
Yes.
Which means they have the planning down. It means they know where it's going to be based and the general outline for the story and the main concept of what their key focus of the game is is going to be. If it's entering early development, it means they've finished the planning stages. So that's kind of interesting.
You being a game developer, what is kind of your estimation on when we should start seeing some gameplay of this and maybe a release? Are you thinking perhaps in about a 3-year timescale, or?
It's way too soon. It's a Rockstar game. Rockstar development cycle is longer than most. There are a couple of studios that spend a lot longer on their development than is quote unquote the norm. Rockstar, Bethesda, and a couple of others. But Rockstar, I think, for example, GTA 5 took about 5 years of development, and 4 was somewhere under 5 years of development again. So, and they tend not to like showing gameplay too early. So I think if we assume about a 5-year development cycle, maybe let's be a bit generous and say 4. I definitely don't think we'll be seeing anything gameplay related for another 3 to 3.5 years. We might start getting drips of information, maybe some concept art, or even a couple of screenshots. Could possibly see that kind of stuff in about 2.5 years, but I wouldn't expect anything too soon. When a company says they're in early development stages, that means that there's no assets, no art has been done. There's some concept arts drawn in some books somewhere, but no 3D artist has made models yet. Code is not there, like functionality is not there. Like if a game is in early development, a game of the vastness of a GTA game, you've got many years to wait.
No, that's fair. I think some of the other rumours to definitely kind of point out are this thought process that they're going to be focusing on DLCs and so on, and kind of developing the game to a point where it's not going to be like GTA 5 or any past GTA games. It's going to be very much a living, breathing thing, like they've done with GTA Online, how they've developed that continuously since releasing it. I think they're planning to do that, but a lot more focused on, this is just the planning stage, these are rumours, this may not be true, but to focus that on both online and offline, and developing more stories and evolving the game as it lives on, having it kind of just in emotion, a little bit like what maybe the new Call of Duty's doing, focusing on updates and free updates and that, and expanding the online. But they're just kind of rumours that I've seen online. I don't know if you guys have seen them as well.
I've seen some where, so the rumors being that their DLCs are going to be like new islands.
Yeah.
So they want the DLCs to be a bit more expansive. That could be kind of interesting, depending on what kind of pricing model they were to go for.
No, of course.
I mean, obviously, if they're looking for their expansions to be a lot bigger, then it wouldn't be completely unreasonable to think they might make the pricing a lot bigger. I hope they don't.
It could even just be down to your standard £50 for the base game, and then maybe £30-40 per expansion, depending on how worth it is. They may even just do it for free and just focus on their shark cards for their revenue. We don't know. It's their prerogative, really. But these are just rumours. Like you said, it's early planning stages. All of this could just be something that's in the planning books now, but be completely removed come the release. Like you said, we need to just wait and get more info. But I think we can all guarantee there's not going to be info for the next 2 years. So if you see any articles talking about what's coming or anything like that, or what to expect in Grand Theft Auto 6, I ignore them for the next 2 years until we start to get some tangible information from Rockstar themselves.
Because I'd honestly say, like, looking at a release window of anywhere between 3 to 5 years. Every game is a bit different. So, yeah, if it's like 3 months down the line and someone's written an article about where the next GTA is going to be set and what the main story is going to be, it's bollocks.
Yep. Sorry, you were going to say something then, Leech?
I was.
Have you slept since then? Okay,
That's really annoying. I really can't remember what I was going to say.
it might come back to you.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
yeah,
there we go.
It has. It's interesting to think about. So GTA technically skipped an entire generation of console,
Yeah,
even though GTA 5 was ported forward from
it was
360.
released on last gen,
Yeah,
and the next one won't be released until next gen.
yeah, the only Rockstar game to have come out for current generation was
Red Dead 2.
Red Dead Redemption 2, which was phenomenal. But
Which we already
um,
discussed was the best game of the decade.
yeah.
So I think we can forgive them.
But yeah, when you think about it, GTA didn't get a release this generation, and it won't. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, of course. You know what, my that
Yo,
actually moves us
There's
quite
another
nicely
studio
on.
that's doing the same thing.
Who?
Can you guess it? Bethesda.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think probably.
Elder
Bethesda,
Scrolls
innit?
5
Oh,
Skyrim
yeah.
came out on last gen, and
So does Fallout
considering
4.
Starfield, also probably won't be releasing until next gen. I believe they said they're looking into backwards
What
compatibility.
about Fallout 76 though?
That's a Fallout game, but
Oh, it's still a Bethesda game. Or are we not counting
it's
that?
a Bethesda game. But at the end of the day, we weren't counting Red Dead Redemption when we were talking
True,
about GTA.
very true, very true. Yeah,
So,
very true.
one and the same. But yeah, at the end of the day, Elder Scrolls 6 is like 5-6 years away
Do you think?
as is. So yeah, 100%.
Okay, fair enough.
Elder Scrolls 6 won't enter development until after Starfield's release. Starfield hasn't
Makes
even given
sense.
us information yet.
Yeah,
So
makes sense.
Elder Scrolls 6 is in pre-production, as they've stated, which pre-production basically means every now and again they'll sit around a table and go, where are we basing it, kind of thing. Now they've done most of the pre-production. They know where Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be based, and the community has theorized a lot on what that's going to be. But yeah, until Starfield releases, which isn't going to be until end of this year, probably more likely next year, Elder Scrolls 6 won't even have entered production, and an Elder Scrolls game typically takes 4 to 5 years.
There you go.
So Elder Scrolls 6 is a long way away as well. So that'll be well within the next generation of consoles life cycle before that game comes out.
Just stomp on my dreams, Roost.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts deep.
But I think talking about generational consoles, that moves us quite nicely on to us looking at the next gen consoles and kind of what's been going on the last 2 months, because there's been quite a lot that's been going on, and I think that definitely needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, the PlayStation 5 controller. Can I just be? I was not even the first to say, but definitely. That is. What is that? Do you know what? Genuinely, it looks like an original Xbox controller.
To play slight devil's advocate, don't think it's the worst thing in the world. The color scheme they've gone with does not help, though.
No.
Shape-wise,
No, yeah, I don't think
not
it's
all
a
that
bad
bad.
shape. It's
The
just
shape is all right. But yeah, the coloring and the design of it makes it look like it's wearing dungarees, and it's just not a good look. I seen a post where someone had recolored the controller. They'd made 4 different variants of colored ones, and I have to say the controller looked a hell of a lot nicer with more of a flat color scheme than this like dual color schemed. They made like a blue one, a black one, an all white one, and they made a red and blue one, so it kind of looked like a Mario controller, which was kind of funny. Goes to show the potential they have with the color scheme. But yeah, seeing an all black and an all white one sort of really made you realize actually it's not a bad looking controller when it's colored like the rest of the controllers. But with this sort of darker underside and the white sort of main body, it really doesn't look good.
No. I kind of, when first looking at it, it looks very derivative from my perspective. There's nothing innovative about it. it looks like something that was released back in 2005.
It looks like a Mad Catz controller.
Yeah, it genuinely does. You know, I can't get the picture of the original Xbox controller out of my head every time that I see it, or one of the, like a fusion of that and one of the old Nintendo controllers. It just does not look good in any way, shape, or form. I don't know what they've done with it, and what surprises me. It doesn't surprise me in any way, shape, or form. But every single PlayStation fanboy out there has been like, "Oh my god, this is the best controller I've ever seen. It's going to be amazing." What do you mean it's going to be amazing? It's taken a lot of similar features that Microsoft did with the Xbox controller 10, 15 years ago.
That all the PlayStation fans have been bagging about all these years. You know?
Yeah, exactly. It looks a lot thicker in terms of a controller.
It does look like a weird love child of an Xbox controller and a PS like 3 or 4 controller.
Yeah, it really does.
It's just come out as this weird like thing.
And that just goes to show how blind fanboys can be.
I think what's happened is we didn't realize that Xbox and PlayStation were actually siblings. So when they had this love child, it's very mutated.
Oh dear.
Thanks for that image.
You're welcome. As it go, and a lot of people have been. I've seen a surprising amount of people actually that have turned around and said that it looks vile, but until we get it in our hands and can actually like get to grips literally with the controller, you know, for all we know, it could be like something else. It could be.
I think it will be comfortable. Like I've said, like shape wise, I don't have an issue with it. I think it'll be very comfortable, particularly for people who are a fan of the Nintendo Pro controller or the Xbox One controller. It's very reminiscent of this sort of chunkier, sort of fit in your hand nicely design. One thing I don't like, so obviously they've come up with all these quote unquote innovative features about the controller, which, as we said, have all been done before. Like they're on about rumble triggers and like force feedback on the triggers and things like that. Like it's some amazing innovative thing. The Xbox One controllers have had those.
Yeah.
So, and like there's many other features, not just stolen from Xbox, not necessarily stolen, but it's just the fact that that people are saying like, oh, this is brand new, and it's like, no, it's not.
No,
it's 10
exactly.
years old. But the triggers still don't have a piece of controller under them, like with the Xbox controller, to separate them from the floor. So even with this new controller, have fun putting your controller down and fast forwarding or rewinding your video. Because they're still
the controller sort of acts as the leg, doesn't it?
Well,
like
here we are. If you're recording the
I am,
thing, put a picture in. There you go. Yeah. So because of the fact that the triggers rest on the floor, if you put that controller down at even the slightest bit of an angle, you will activate the triggers. You will fast forward and rewind your
thing is, it's like it's possible that
it's an age-old thing with the PlayStation 4 controller.
It's possible that they've like upped the actuation force needed to activate the trigger, which could remedy that. But then
that could be really that could.
We've had no information on that kind of thing.
We haven't.
So
plus that
could be super easy to press. That
could be significantly detrimental to games that need that kind of force feedback and that very, very slight touch. Like take Gran Turismo, which is a massive IP for the PlayStation series. If you've got that kind of a feature on your controller, so you know that's going to hinder the amount of throttle or brake you can actually put into the triggers. It's just not going to work all that well. But I mean that design itself there's nothing innovative about it. For me, it just looks very derivative, and you know, I just don't see why everybody's getting really hyped up about it.
Yeah, I don't dislike it like many people do. I don't like the color scheme, but that's a color scheme there's many different sort of special editions and colors and stuff like that come out for a controller. So that's kind of irrelevant. But like design wise, it's nice, but it's not new.
No,
it's new to PlayStation. It's new to PlayStation, yes, but it's not new.
It's funny whenever something new starts to come out, how much a community kind of grabs onto certain things. So since the release of the controllers and Microsoft and Sony releasing kind of information and finding out that the Xbox Series X controllers are still going to require batteries and stuff like that, the entire PlayStation community have
I'm okay with that.
absolutely rode that. Just, oh, it doesn't have an internal battery. Rah, rah, rah. That doesn't really matter.
To be fair, though, like I've started avoiding comment sections now just because I can't be bothered with the one-minded behavior of both sectors, frankly, both Xbox and PlayStation.
Fanboys in
Oh,
general.
yeah.
Sony
But,
fanboys and Xbox fanboys
when I was
equally as
still
bad.
when I was still reading comments, there was a surprising amount of what you would think are PlayStation fanboys that were saying, love the PlayStation controller, but my internal battery just decided like 2 years ago that it wasn't going to hold a charge anymore.
Mhm.
Like, having the ability to swap the battery easily is not such a bad thing. And that was
No.
coming from people who don't like Xbox. They're fully
which is
PlayStation,
quite
but they can
refreshing to see.
appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why for me. I'm all for external battery packs because okay, it does
They're
mean
swappable,
that you've
they're
got to
interchangeable.
pay a little bit more. You know, if you've got to buy that £25 dual battery pack with charging dock, and they just sit there and they charge, and then as soon as your battery dies, you just grab one, and it's like reloading a fucking gun, except it's your controller.
Yeah.
I've done it mid-game of COD before.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah. I've done it every time.
I think a lot of Xbox players probably have. And
Oh, yeah.
okay, it's frustrating for the couple of seconds that it takes that you've got to, quickly grab a battery pack and swap them out, but you just turn the controller back on and you're off you go. Whereas, if you're playing your PlayStation or whatever and your battery dies, okay, you can just grab your wire, chuck your wire in, and suddenly you're using a wired controller and
But
you're
you can
charging
also
as you
do
play.
that with the Xbox One, so
Yeah.
it's
But
not
yeah.
something that it has over the other controller.
But there's ultimately that thing then where if I can't really think of a scenario where maybe you have to use your controller wireless. Like maybe you just straight up. In fact, actually, no. Yeah, thinking about it, most living rooms would
Yep.
benefit massively from the wireless controller. That's
Yep.
why they've become mainstream, I guess. And so having to sit there with your controller plugged in with a wire, if you haven't then forked out more for a longer charging wire, which most of the time charge slower because of the length. Like if you haven't gone to that length of buying a longer wire, then you might have to sit literally right on top of your TV that could quite possibly be wall mounted quite high up on your wall, because from your normal sofa position, it's ideal. But now you're suddenly sat within about 2 foot because that's all your bloody wire will reach. Suddenly it's really uncomfortable to play. And so the ability to just go, yeah, I'll just swap out the pack, and there we go. I've got another like 20 hours or whatever it is. I haven't played console in a long time, so I don't really know what the battery life expectancy is.
They're still crap.
Depends on which one you get, but
Still crap.
But you go from dead battery to full batteries immediately. You make that switch and boom, you're good to go.
Yep.
You've got hours and hours of more gameplay. But with a fixed rechargeable internal battery, you've got to plug it in, and whilst for me that would be fine. Like
your
my
interchangeable
room-
battery suddenly becomes an interchangeable controller.
Yeah, you're spending 50 quid on a new controller just to remedy that situation.
Yeah. So
or you've got
for
your nose
me,
to the screen.
I'm all for the good old fashioned battery packs. Just you swap them out, and like I said, you've gone from empty to full in that one 10-second, not even that. If like my setup, everything is quite compact, it's all within arm's reach for the most part, But even in a living room situation, you've probably got the charging dock set up near your console, so it's literally a matter of jumping up off your sofa, grabbing a battery pack, and just swapping it out.
Yep.
And yeah, you might die in your game, or you might even crash into a wall if you're on a racing game or something. But as frustrating as it can be, that's not the end of the world.
Also, if you're playing a single-player game, then most single-player games immediately pause the game if your batteries die.
Yeah.
If the controller disconnects, the game pauses.
Yeah, even in like I said, racing. If you're in a playing Forza, just on a single-player race, as soon as your battery dies, it'll just go, oh, your battery's got your controller's disconnected. We're gonna pause for you. So yeah, it's literally just a matter of switch it out. You back up the full battery. You sit your ass back down on your sofa. You're not being tethered. You're not sat there with this wire stringing out that maybe your mum, who's a bit ditzy with the Hoover, comes and snags the wire, and
You sound like you're talking from experience.
it's definitely happened. So yeah, I'm all for just swap a battery pack, good to go. Like, I don't want to be sat here with, your wire. But it's fine if you're not playing. Like, don't get me wrong. If you're done for the day or whatever, or you get that notification, oh, your battery's low, you need to charge within the next hour or whatever, and you just go, you know what, I'll finish up this quest and then I'll go do something else for a while, and you can plug your controller in and you walk away and you leave it. That's absolutely fine, But if you're in a situation where you're trying to play in your living room, for example, which is basically the console's major area, for me anyway.
For a lot
and
of people.
it's where the argument of console or PC comes in as well. It's like PCs generally are a little bit more cumbersome to have in your living room. A console isn't. They generally make nice little additions to your entertainment setup. But yeah, I think in a lot of cases, most people aren't going to have a wire that can stretch from one end of the room to wherever the sofa is. And it's literally, they're going to have to sit right on top of their console with this tiny, dinky little wire plugged in, because that's their only option. Is charge the controller, right now, or stop playing and let it charge over time. Whereas with battery packs, boom, 10 seconds, you grab a new pack, you throw in or you grab a new set of batteries, whatever. Some people just use a couple of Duracells or whatever their brand is. Other people buy the
I don't think people have battery brands.
You'd be surprised. I'd rather use Duracells over some crappy bloody Asda home brand,
I suppose.
Even though a totally different subject, but I'm sure I saw that tested once, and a lot of the time the shitty home brands normally last longer. So yeah, there is that. But yeah, it's so much easier. Just to go, I've got a packer. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're relying on double A's and you run out and you don't have that spare set to switch to, then you're a little bit screwed.
Yes.
But if you are on top of it, even then, you can fall back to just plugging the controller in. It's not ideal. It's why I don't like the PlayStation internal battery, but it can be done. It is an option. But yeah, as long as I've got a set of batteries on my desk right now. And they're for my Rift touch controllers. Yeah, your battery's low. Yeah, it takes a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
Pull a battery cover off, swap a battery or two, pop the cover back on, turn the controller back on, and you've gone from empty to full. Instead of I now got to sit here with a wire. Yeah.
Just one more point then before we end this, because we're now at an hour and 2 minutes.
Yeah,
sorry,
of rambling
an hour and
about
3 minutes.
Oh
no. To be fair,
as you can tell, I prefer battery packs.
Yeah, really? No. To be fair, this is the first one we've done since February, so I was, in 2 months, I was expecting it to be a little bit longer than usual. But I think one important point to end on is the suspected pricing for the PlayStation 5 and their kind of pricing issues that they're running into right now.
This is interesting, actually, because I haven't heard anything about it. So whatever you guys are about to say is actually news to me.
So recently, and I'll have to thank GameRanks for this, because they spoke about it on their Friday update last week. Sony have had some major issues with their pricing model. They're saying that the kit that they're using for the PlayStation 5 is a lot more expensive than they were expecting, and
it kept the price that it was costing them to develop the consoles kept going up and up and up, and they started realizing, oh shit, we're encroaching really close to how much we were planning on selling it. So much so that I believe the price to develop their console eventually, at one point, overtook their original planned price to sell the console.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Having major issues.
Right now, I think they're expecting to be within the £500 to £600 mark, possibly more. They're also reducing, I think the figure was something like when you compare it to PlayStation 4, the kind of starting models and their initial selling kit, they're dropping the amount that they're going to be selling to start with by about 60%. Or
Yeah, I was going
something
to say, I
ridiculous.
had heard something about like rumors or something that supply would be quite low
very low
in at release.
I think they said 4 million units at release, which when you compare it to the likes of, I think their PlayStation 4 release was maybe in the 20 to 30 million unit mark. I'm not sure. I would have to fact check that, but that is a drastic reduction. And if they're looking at £500 to £600 estimate and possibly more, now it's all down to Xbox and kind of what they do. I can foresee the Xbox Series X being £550 mark.
550 is my guess for the Xbox, if I'm honest. 550.
One thing I do have to say, just going by how they've marketed the Series X, I think it'll definitely outdo the Xbox One on release. I think it'll have a better release week than the One did.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I'm no expert, but yeah, like I think we all know the One was here's a TV box
A shamble.
that you can play games on.
The word you're looking for is a fucking shamble.
Yes.
It really
They
was.
redeemed themselves, but they never quite recovered.
I think what's fantastic about how they're marketing it right now is they're so open and honest about it. I mean, it was only, I think, January where they broke the Series X down in their development kits and said exactly what they're putting in there and all of that good stuff, which is a fantastic way to go. But not just that, the idea of really kind of bringing PC and console together and having the Game
I think
Pass.
Microsoft have drastically changed the way they're handling their gaming network.
Yes. For the good.
And they're
100%.
What I'm looking for. There was a particular word that kind of sort of encompasses everything they do in terms of their gaming area, but whatever. But yeah, the fact that they're now like, Xbox is our gaming brand, and hey, Xbox games, they're also on PC. We are Microsoft. These are our games. Like, play them on Microsoft platforms.
It's not just that. It's the whole, look, this is a new generation, but you can use your old kit if you want to.
Yes. Yeah. The forward and backwards compatibility. That's the key thing. Forward and backwards compatibility. So the Series X controller will actually work on your Xbox One X.
Exactly. And your Xbox One will work on the kit will work on the Series X. That is incredible. And they've done such a great marketing piece on that. And you know
also,
what?
Game backwards compatibility as well. That you're going to be able to play all your Xbox One games on your Series X, all of them, like natively,
which is fantastic. It's that is innovation, right there.
Yeah.
And do you know what? By the sounds of the amount of problems that that Sony are having, I can foresee the PlayStation 5 being more expensive than the Series X. And we all know that in terms of raw power and
the
general innovation,
does just about take the cake.
Oh yeah, that it does.
Not huge. It's not huge margins.
No, but think about what you get out of the Series X compared to what you're going to get out of the PlayStation 5 as well.
Yes.
From monetary value.
Raw power. It's not huge margins, but it is technically the more powerful console.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that the PS5 is facing all these issues and could potentially release for considerably more than the Series X, I mean, it's looking bright for Microsoft.
Absolutely. They're catering to a lot more in terms of a like a player base, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Focusing on PC and Xbox with complete backwards and forwards compatibility at a similar price to what we can expect for the PlayStation 5, with more power and just more for your money overall.
Yes.
It's Microsoft have done fantastic with their marketing campaign.
PlayStation's wording, so when they mentioned their backwards compatibility, I noticed not enough people paying attention to their actual wording. So people were saying, the top 100 games are going to be backwards compatible. Now, for one, that's a bad statement.
Yeah.
In general, only the top 100, but their actual wording was most of the top 100 games, which means actually it's less than 100 games are going to be forward compatible. or backwards compatible. You know,
It's just
is
not. It's not
yeah.
good for a consumer.
Most of the top 100 PS4 games will be playable on the PS5, compared to every single Xbox One game will be playable
Yeah.
natively on the Series X, including many Xbox 360 and original Xbox games.
And there we go. And that's it. So yeah, for anybody who's watching now, and you've managed to get to the 1 hour 10-minute mark exactly, fair play to you. But kind of, what's your take on this? If you are kind of a fan of the consoles, are you going to be getting one? If you're a PC gamer, are you still going to be getting one? I'm preparing for pre-order. As soon as this Series X goes on pre-order, I'm on that. It was my birthday on the 7th of April. All I asked for was Microsoft credit, just so that when that gets announced, I can pre-order it straight away. That's all I want right now. And I think originally we were going to get that information early April, but since COVID-19 kind of hit us, that's kind of moved back. But I've just, as soon as that goes on pre-order sale, I am buying it straight away. I cannot wait for the Series X. But let us know what you guys think in terms of the PlayStation 5.
I'll be buying it too, considering my Xbox One finally died this year.
Yeah.
It lasted this long, but he finally died. So Series X all the way!
I genuinely don't even know if mine still works. It hasn't been plugged in probably over a year. It just sits there gathering dust these days.
I haven't turned mine on for a little while. It's just sat to me on the right hand side. So we got two Xboxes. The one downstairs is used as kind of a video player. How back in 2012, that's how they wanted to sell it. No, sorry, 2014. But
the real consumer.
The One X next to me, I haven't switched that on for a little while, and that's kind of gathering dust. But anyway, yeah, I think this is a fantastic place to end it. Sorry it was a little bit longer than what we've done kind of previously, but let's face it, it's been 2 months, so we had a lot to talk about. And I think we're all going to be game for another podcast. Number 10. Should we make it a special one, or should we just do it in a normal format? What do you guys think?
Just normal.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. We'll leave you to it. Make sure you stay safe, and make sure your family stay safe as well. Follow government guidelines.
Don't lick anything. Don't. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we'll leave
just
you
stay
there.
home. It's just easier.
Exactly. Video game. That's
Wash
why you're
your
watching this.
Don't even go out for your one walk. Just stay home. It's just safer.
All right, everyone. See you later.
Toodles.
See ya.